Do you volunteer as tribute?
Are the odds ever in my favor?
I don't know. Depends on what we're talking about. If it's being an awesome Catholic podcast host, I think the odds are in your favor. No, only competition is the cat.
Yeah, I have no chance. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Catholicism and Coffee. I'm Stephen Gasinski.
I am Beth Kaczynski.
We talk about Catholicism, all things Catholic, and enjoy some great brews. Today we're going to be continuing our Should Catholics series. Today we're going to be talking about should Catholics read and or watch The Hunger Games.
So The Hunger Games, it is an extremely dark franchise. You could even say it promotes death because these games, kids literally go and fight till the death, till only one person is still alive. So that's, 12 districts, 24 tributes, 23 deaths. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and even our protagonist, she kills quite a few people. Yeah. And just there's a ton of death, as we mentioned, and there's a lot of lying and fabrication too, because we have Katniss and Peeta, our two main characters, who are able to stay alive in the games, and they're both able to win because they have this fake staged romance that the Capitol just eats up. So, by lying, they're able to survive, but they are trying to survive too, so that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. So there's a lot of dishonesty.
Yes.
And here's the other thing. We have to take this in context. They're not just doing it for amusement. They are in the fight for their lives through the Capitol, which is a despotic, controlling force led by a man who had murdered his way to the top and continues to remain in power because he destroys any kind of resistance.
Yes. And Katniss, because the Capitol is so controlling, they've got all these laws, she breaks the law regularly in order to survive. Like, they're not supposed to cross the fence where the forest is. She does that to go hunting so her family can actually eat.
Yeah. There are all kinds of other vile things throughout the franchise. Now, it's not gratuitous. The violence and the death have meaning.
Yes. And we see also the Capitol, which is just extremely unethical.
Yeah. There are all kinds of stuff. What are some of the things?
Yeah. About the Capitol?
Yeah.
Well, first off, they're making bets on children's lives in the Hunger Games. They see this as just fun entertainment. Death doesn't really affect them.
It's reality TV.
Yes, and they don't really consider people in the districts as human beings.
Yeah. They're livestock.
Yeah. So this franchise, there's a lot of immoral things in there, and even the heroes, they're not the most clean and pretty heroes. They do some iffy things as well. But we also have to understand the reasons why they do them. We have to understand the world and why they don't always use the most moral means to achieve their goals. Because there's a reason. They're not killing for the sake of killing or wanting to punish people the way President Snow, who lives in the Capitol, rules the country, he punishes people for very wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Whereas our heroes, they're trying to survive, trying to protect people they love, trying to overthrow this corrupt, unethical Capitol.
Yeah. It's a godless society. They do
Really
not have
is.
a moral compass to guide them to handle things.
So even though there's this really corrupt, unethical society, people kill, people steal, even if they're good guys, we can still learn a lot from all this bad stuff.
Yeah. What are some of those good things?
Okay, well, it does have a happy-ish ending, as happy as an ending can be, because they end up overthrowing the government, the Capitol, and the Hunger Games are no more.
Yep. They are finished.
Yeah, and we always know who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. Nobody's trying to say, oh, President Snow is a good guy.
No.
Even the prequel, which is from his point of view, still paints him as a pretty bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, they actually do a good job of portraying him as a villain.
Mm-hmm. And those who are just promoting and all for the child sacrifice, which is what the Hunger Games is, they're obviously the bad guys.
Yeah. Going back to the prequel, they kind of give reason to why President Snow is as vile as he is, but they don't try to paint him too sympathetic. It's like, oh, he's just misunderstood, like so many villain prequels try to play. They're like, but he's still a really bad guy. He has chances to actually do the right thing, but he chooses not to.
Yes, and they never try to justify his actions.
No. Yes. Great work to Suzanne Collins for that. She had some guts and really good writing ability.
Yeah, and we have a new book coming out very soon.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. But continuing, despite all of this just bad, immoral, corrupt, unethical stuff in the series, we see a lot of good things. In the very beginning, we see Katniss Everdeen, the main character, making a sacrifice because her younger sister, 12 years old, first year she can be reaped for the Hunger Games, by all odds gets chosen, despite her name only being in there one time. Katniss, not wanting to see her sister sent to die, essentially says, I will volunteer to take her place.
Yep. And that is already the first act of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Other characters sacrifice themselves so others can live.
Yes. Because we see in Catching Fire. So in Catching Fire, all of the former victors some of the former victors get thrown into the arena as tributes again. And we see a lot of them, they want to put an end to all of the games, to the corruption in the Capitol. And they say, we're going to use Katniss to kind of rally the resistance, and the rest of us are willing to die so that she can live and she can change things.
Yep, and some of them do.
Some of them do, and many of them do survive, but they die later on. R.I.P. Finnick.
Mm-hmm. He was one I was actually thinking of.
Yes.
Because he sacrificed himself.
He did.
So others could get away and
Yes.
continue the fight.
Yes. And also, there's just this fight for justice, as we've been talking about, which is something we need to do in our moral lives. We need to fight for what is just, what is right. And there's plenty of that in today's world. Even
at one point, there's a supposed good force, and then it turns out they're as corrupt as the Capitol, and, fortunately, Katniss can see that. She's not blinded by it, and she actually chooses to end the corruption in all manners and forms quite efficiently.
Yeah, there's this one quote throughout the series, remember who the real enemy is. It's not the other tributes. It's not the other districts. It is always the Capitol, or the leadership in the case of President Coin, who I think you were talking about.
Yeah, President Coin and President Snow.
Yeah, both very corrupt, terrible leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Because President Coin, she says, oh, let's bring back the Hunger Games, but this time we'll use children from the Capitol to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, that's not... absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that is shown brilliantly in that story. So, what are some things we could learn from the Hunger Games of what not to do?
Ultimately, we need God. We cannot have humans in the ultimate authority, like a President Snow, President Coin. They answer to no one. They can do what they want. Their moral compasses are pretty skewed. There we go. So we need God to guide us.
And humans can justify anything.
Yes.
They can warp reality. Like we were talking about the Capitol citizens. It's reality TV. The Hunger Games are reality TV to them.
Yes.
They're like, oh, this is just fun entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's child sacrifice.
Yes.
Look at our world right now. Oh, it's my choice. It's a parasite. It's a clump of cells. Oh, I'm born in the wrong body, so I need to change myself to fit how I feel. No, it's child sacrifice and mutilation. Think about it. Humans can warp reality to justify any number of godless things.
Yes. So, with all this in mind, should Catholics watch or read the Hunger Games? If you want to, I think you should.
Again, like we say with all of ours, practice discernment.
Yes.
Determine what is the age appropriate for your kids. Some are maybe more sensitive than others. Mm-hmm. That maybe you might want to wait a couple of years.
Yes, if your kid's going to be like, oh, blood and gore, people are dying, this is scary. wouldn't rate the Hunger Games.
Not yet.
But teenagers overall are pretty okay. Just as long as they know right from wrong and don't think, oh, it's okay to kill people because Katniss kills people. No, that's not how this works.
No. So let's take all of that into account. And are we just approaching the Hunger Games because it's in our course? That doesn't hurt, but it's a question that comes up, and we wanted to answer it as best as we could. Speaking of our course, checking our course.
Yes.
We are running a special right now. Check out Love and Film, Love ampersand Film, 25, and you'll get 25% off any package. All caps, by the way. So we have that. You can pick up single, if you're just looking at a single movie, like say The Hunger Games, you can pick that.
Yes.
If you want to do a genre package, you can pick one of those up. We're trying to raise our options for you. We're doing another genre package that's being assembled for you. So check those out. Check out our blog.
Yes.
Again, so we're updating that on weeks we don't have an episode. So definitely look into those.
Lent is coming up. We have a devotional available on Amazon called Penitence. So head on over to Amazon. You can find that if you're looking for something to do for Lent. And we marked down the price too, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of it and join us on that journey. Anything else?
I think that's everything.
All right. In the meantime, people, be brave, be courageous. God bless.